friends, welcome or welcome back. My name is Irene and it's good to be here. It was quite a while that I've been on this channel. Usually on this channel I talk about books, but now I had a huge reading slump for a few months. Some weeks I couldn't pick up a book. I couldn't listen to an audiobook. It was really hard, and it was on top, or maybe because of some depression, anxiety, mental health issues, name like that, and some health issues too. So it was quite a fall, very difficult period of year for me, though fall is usually my favorite month, but with this one was like not very good. Still, I want to talk about few books that I've read and really enjoyed. There were many that I DNF'd or maybe paused for later, but there were few that I finished and loved them very much and want to talk about them. First, I want to start with an easy, comfy, cozy read that I will forget because I don't have it in physical form. It's Marble Hall Murders. This is the third of Susan Ryland mysteries by Antonin Horowitz. This is maybe my favorite cozy mystery series for now. It has to be final book, but I really hope he will still be writing later. This is a book about a book editor, and so usually inside the big book there is kind of smaller book that she is editing and that holds some clues or evidence or something, which I really enjoy because the books that she specialized in are the series that she worked on was Atticus Punt mysteries. They're like golden age mysteries like Poirot and something like that, and they're very cozy and fun to read and very safe place. Susan Ryland world, our world, is not that safe, but I really like to pick connections and evidence and everything. I really enjoy this series. The author of Atticus Punt is dead. He died in the first book. And the publishing house hired another author to write other books in the series, like to write later. And the first book that he wrote held some clues about his life and the murder that he maybe or may not experienced in his childhood. And then he died without reading the second half of the book. And Susan Ryland is one of the suspects. So now she really needs to uncover the mystery and understand what's going on and save her name and herself. I really enjoyed this book again. I gave it 5 stars. Well, they're not like brilliant work of fiction that you will never forget, but they are superior. They are very clever. They are very cozy. They are very safe. It's my best place to be. Okay, about other books that I've read. Let's say another mystery, If We Were Villains by M.L. Raya. This is kind of a homage to Secret History by Donna Tartt. But I'd say if Secret History is 10, this book is maybe 6. First of all, I think it's targeted for more young adult audience. There are not so many like deep, complex thoughts and dialogues. Second, the things that the reasoning behind things that people do in these books, I'm not sure is like completely right. I can't believe it. And that's why it's like 3.5 stars for me. This follows students in a elite theater college where they study Shakespeare and put Shakespeare play every half semester. And at the beginning of the last year of the college, professors wanted to make it more challenging for them, so they kind of mixed their stereotypical roles. You know, then one is a villain, one is a hero, one is like seducing lady, one is like tomboy. They mixed them up to bring something new from them, and it caused kind of damage to their mental health, I'd say. They, maybe all of them or some of them, begin to mix reality and Shakespeare, and began to do stuff that is not acceptable or is not pleasant, and then murder happens. And next semester it's all begin to happening all over again. And so how all it works, at the beginning of the book, main protagonist come out of prison for this murder, but we do not know who actually was, like, who was a murderer until the end of the book. So I guess it's a mystery. One thing that I would recommend if you want to read this book, I recommend to listen to it in audio. Maybe fifth of the book, maybe even 1/4 of the book is written in like kind of Shakespearean quotes that people in this book talk to each other. So not only they act inside the plays, but when they talk to each other, they exchange Shakespearean quotes from different plays. And for me, as I'm not that big, doesn't have this big knowledge of Shakespeare, and that Shakespeare that I read, it was in Russian, so it was translated, I couldn't recognize most of it, and most of the times I would never put the right context and the right meaning in these words, and the right emotions. When you listen to an audiobook, you understand this is angry quote, this is quote about lust, this is quote about desire, this is quote about jealousy, because the person pronounces it with certain impression. So yeah, I highly recommend this is an audiobook. I think it was a little bit too exaggerated of feelings, but maybe it suited theater and theatrical people, I don't know. It was enjoyable, it was good, it wasn't kind of my favorite book of my whole life. Secret History was, so it was like, I don't know. But yeah, this is kind of, if you have this longing for something like Secret History, maybe this will calm you down for some time. So yeah, I can recommend it. Other kind of young adult book that I read and highly recommend, this is I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith. I think it was written in 20s, maybe 30s, 40s, 48. This is a book about a young girl. She lives in a crumbling mansion. Her family was rich, but now they're really poor. They do not have any money. They all... they're quirky and fun, and they have interesting life stories and points of view, and they kind of have fun having no money. Girl is writing a diary and enjoying herself in this romantic abyss, I'd say. And then kind of rich American neighbors came, and it all started from there. This is a wonderful book. I really recommend it. It is witty, fun, clever. Characters are great. There is like this quality of a really good book when you can't stop reading and you need to know what will be next. And also you're enjoying every minute and don't want it ever to stop. I really like it. I want to reread it next time, maybe more slowly, because I gulped this book down. I know I have a reading slump, and then I pick a book and I gulped it down, and then I have a reading slump again. But this was amazing, 5 stars, highly, highly, highly recommend. This was a reread for me, another 5-star book. I have read only first and I think third of Seasonal Quartet by Alice Smith. I wanted to start rereading it again. Autumn is a reread for me. I barely ended up reading it during autumn, not winter. This is a book that's kind of meditation about age and about past and future, and about youth and wisdom of old, and young and older people exchanging life experiences and thoughts. This is about friendship or maybe love, but definitely like something very pure, not sexual, between very old man and very young girl. And I think this is a wonderful, wonderful book about life, about thoughts, about emotions and connection. And yeah, I can't wait to read next from this series. The book that was great for fall, but not very great for a reading slump, was Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Marillier. I really enjoyed it, though it's it's painfully slow. It's beautiful, the language is gorgeous, the nature describing, like thought-provoking. It's wonderful. It's a fantasy. It's a retelling of a fairy tale about seven swans. Well, in Russian it was like a Hans Christian Andersen tale of seven swans. I don't know, is it like the same name in English or in Dutch? I have no idea. So this is about a girl in Ireland called Sorcha, and she has six brothers, so she is seventh child. And they grew up together, they're kind of wild in the forest, and then through different circumstances, everything changed because their father married again, and their stepmother is evil witch, and she put a spell on her brothers so that they turned into swans. And it's up to Sorcha to help them and bring them back into the human world. And during her quest, she experienced lots of hardships and lots of happy things, and she fall in love. One thing that everyone needs to know, there is a huge trigger warning. There is a very explicit rape scene here, and you don't expect it. This book is very gentle, very calm, and very noble. I don't know how to explain it, but I would definitely give it to my 13 years old daughter before reading this scene. This scene is like for adults only, and it's heartbreaking and it's hard to read. And after that, definitely Sorcha changed. And yeah, even true love kind of fade behind this curtain. Also, I was not really sure about the ending of the story. It is kind of a happy end, but not quite as happy as I expected it to be. And I know this is how life goes, but I prefer in my fantasy books, especially in fantasy romance books, not to have huge sacrifices from one of the partners in a marriage, because I don't know, I just don't like this trope. And here it is at the very end. So I gave it 4.5 stars. I definitely want to proceed with this series. I love Julia Marillier's language and fantasy, like plot, but I was not very sure about rape scene. I thought it was unnecessary, and the ending of this book, I also was not sure it was the way I would like to end to it to end. But overall, very, very good book. And the last book I just read, it's Gilead by Marilynne Robinson. This is such a wonderful book. I wanted to hug it after reading. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful book. It's a monologue of a very elderly priest. He's heading to his 80s, and he has a very young child. His son is 7. And he is writing a letter to his son, thinking that his days are very short and he would never see his son grown up, and he wants to explain some things about himself, about his parents, about life in general, about faith. And he is writing kind of letter, but it's more like a diary or monologue to his son. Mostly it's about the past, but during these diary entries or letter writing, something happened. One person returned to Gilead, which is the town, the very small town they live in, who who put a challenge to our main protagonist in his faith in people, faith in God. It's a very interesting book. It's very deep. You want to write all the quotes from here. And yeah, overall, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful, extremely good book. One of the best I've read in a few years. I highly, highly, highly recommend. This is definitely a 5-star. And yeah, it is rather slow. And I listened it partly in audiobook, partly I read it as a paper book. Audiobook is great. I put the name of narrator here. He's amazing. And yes, I definitely will reread this book many, many times. This is one of my favorites right now, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Thank you for watching. It was nice to be with you again. I really hope we will see each other very soon. I can't say when. I want to do it tomorrow. I want to do a video every day of the December, but I have no idea. There are days that I just can't pick up a book, and I'm not sure I have this ability to talk on the camera, but we'll see. Thank you for watching. It was very nice to see you again, and I hope you'll have a great December. Bye!